We've all felt that adrenaline when we hear them coming. It can be anything from a routine speeding ticket to a grave and dangerous situation unfolding right before our eyes.
All back units in 4071 and 211 just occurred, New Jersey and Savannah. Suspects are armed with a handgun. They're described as 3 male Caucasians, all wearing white shirts.
But what you often don't see is the life-threatening risk that police investigators and digital forensic practitioners encounter when handling contaminated evidence.
Unfortunately, there was no set protocol. There wasn't a lot of research in that field at that time when I was handling digital evidence for the department that I was working for. So we would come up with our own methods just to protect ourselves, such as placing the phone inside of a plastic Ziploc bag while we were interrogating it, and of course wearing gloves and things like that, just to keep us protected.
Located on the north side of James Springs, Ohio, inside this suburban garage, everything needed to make meth. Everyday items and strong acids, the raw chemicals needed for a meth lab, are extremely volatile.
We've heard from agencies around the world that are struggling with this specific problem. And what we often hear is that when they encounter a device they know has been exposed to hazardous conditions, a couple of things may happen. They may put it on a shelf in an evidence locker, waiting for the right technique to emerge of how to clean this in a safe way and still retrieve the evidence. We've also heard situations where agencies just simply refuse to take digital evidence in that has been exposed to certain classes of chemicals and biohazardous conditions. And if you think about that, these are digital devices that could help solve investigations, but the risk is so high in addressing them that an agency may choose to simply not touch that device for the risk that it could be to their laboratory personnel because they don't have a good way to decontaminate the devices.
When I was a detective, as a homicide investigator, we're constantly having to deal with devices that have different types of biohazard. There's a lot of things that you don't even see. There are synthetic narcotics out in the public today that just upon touch can lead to death